Alright, before I get into this video, I want to bring up the slight possibility, or even the strong possibility, that this is not actually going to be 20 pages, and instead it will be on page 20. There's some confusion going on right now in the community between different people who translate different things, and some people are saying that they're 20 pages, some people are saying it's on page 20. Now, because of the nature of this news, I can't talk about this in the future, right? I don't know what the consensus is going to end up being. We don't know whether it's going to be 20 pages or if it's going to be a single page on page 20, but regardless, I can update you both in the comments and on Twitter. So if you haven't already, come follow me on Twitter. Alternatively, just keep an eye on the comments. If something changes, I'll pin it as the main comment so that you are fully aware of the situation. However, for the rest of this video, I am going to be assuming that there are 20 different pages. For people out of the loop, there was a Dragon Ball announcement stream where they talked about potentially Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 2. They talked about some Xenoverse stuff, and they also revealed the cover of V-Jump this month, and it's going to be pretty heavily focused on Jump Force. Jump Force is right front and center on the cover. Yugi, Goku, Luffy, and Naruto are all on the cover, and it's all their Jump Force renders, and they look fantastic. And if you get someone to translate the page, you'll know that there are 20 pages of Jump Force content in this V-Jump magazine. Now, this is incredibly out of the ordinary. J-Stars never got this many pages on one issue of V-Jump. Why would Jump Force be getting it? Some people are assuming that that means we're about to get a bunch of different characters. Maybe not 20, but maybe 15 or something like that. No, I don't think that's what that means at all. There's so much stuff in Jump Force that we don't really know the details of. Even basic things like the main menu, the lobby features, online, emotes, vehicles, characters, story mode, create a character, items. There's a lot of content to go over inside of Jump Force that hasn't been talked about. And I really do think that that's what the majority of these pages are going to be. There's also the pretty good possibility that a lot of these pages are characters we've already seen. People forget that V-Jump is not exclusively like a scan that's released to the internet. It's a magazine. People buy this magazine who maybe haven't heard so much about Jump Force. So throwing in announcements we've already had, characters who have already been revealed to us, and putting them all in one place is a good way to get people excited about Jump Force who previously weren't. For example, this J-Stars scan from a long time ago, granted it's got a bunch of characters on one page rather than a bunch of pages, but it gets across the same point, right? Here's a bunch of characters, a bunch of information that a lot of people already had, but here's also a couple additional pieces of information for those people who were already aware of that. Granted, I do expect to see character reveals here. In fact, I expect to see quite a bit of character reveals here, maybe 4 or 8 or something crazy like that. But please don't go into this V-Jump issue expecting, 20 characters because there's 20 pages or something like that. That being said, with all of that out of the way, with all of that cautionary information out of the way, it's pretty exciting that we're going into a V-Jump magazine knowing that we're going to get 20 pages of Jump Force content. You might be curious about how much that actually is. 20 pages is about 10% of a V-Jump magazine, so that's a pretty crazy amount to be dedicated specifically for Jump Force. So I'm excited to see what that actually means. Again, what I think this is going to end up being is probably just an in-depth look at some of the features we don't know about. Again, things like the clan system, menus, online features, lobby features, emotes. Obviously, characters will probably be talked about. As far as specific characters go, I think we could pretty easily see the Naruto roster here. The most likely characters, in my opinion, to be added to the game at this point are obviously the JoJo's characters and the Naruto characters. And I think the Naruto characters would be the more likely of the two to be announced in V-Jump, just because of the type of magazine that V-Jump is. We usually get additional characters of existing rosters from V-Jump, so I feel like the additional Naruto characters, this is a good spot for them. Alternatively, again, because there's 20 pages, it could be anything. It could be the additional Naruto characters, plus JoJo's, plus Suna, or it could be, anything. It's very difficult to predict this when we know there's going to be 20 pages of Jump Force content. There's also the outside chance, I guess I will mention this, even though I don't think a character like Kaiba will make the base roster, but if a character like Kaiba was to be announced, if an additional Yu-Gi-Oh character was to be announced, this would be the place to do it. V-Jump absolutely loves Yugi. Yu-Gi-Oh gets new cards revealed during V-Jump issues and stuff like that. So having an additional Yu-Gi-Oh character, if it was to be announced, this would be the perfect place to do it. That being said, I don't think we're going to get an additional Yu-Gi-Oh character, so I wouldn't hold my breath for that one. Now, I know I just spent most of this video trying to convince you to be cautious going into this batch of scans. However, I do actually think there's a pretty decent chance that regardless of what the roster size is, regardless if you're one of those people who think the roster is going to be 70 characters, regardless of whether you're one of those more cautious people like myself who expect it to be around 50, or perhaps even lower than that, regardless of whichever side of the conversation you're on, I think by the end of these V-Jump scans, if we don't already know the full roster, I think we'll have a much better idea of what that full roster will look like. And with that in mind, I'm actually really excited. I'm excited because not only will this conversation be out of the way, we're probably going to have a really good idea of what that roster is going to look like, but also it means we're done. We might be done with all of the Jump Force news, and we'll have nothing to look forward to but the release of the game. And I couldn't be more excited about the idea of that, and I hope you are as well. So with that out of the way, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you could subscribe to keep up to date with future content, that'd be very much appreciated. If you could leave a like on the video, that's also very much appreciated. It helps other people find it. My name's been Bilbzy, and I will see you in the next video.